Hello YouTube, it's Ian here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today I want to talk about a little bit about the live action One Piece. I don't really have this kind of like great platform to kind of talk about the series, nor am I like the greatest fan of One Piece ever. I mean, I've only just started reading it like a year ago, and I only have just finished Water 7, but I just had some thoughts about it. I was watching some videos other people made, and I was kind of curious about kind of sharing my own opinion, and I don't know. Generally, I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's cool. I don't necessarily know that Netflix is doing the right thing by kind of creating all of these westernized versions of Japanese manga and anime IPs, because it really isn't working that well. I mean, none of the Netflix shows that are anime based, that are not actual anime, have been that well received. I think what's the newest one? Cowboy Bebop is somewhat well received, but only vaguely. I'm not too sure if that's true or not. I don't necessarily know that anime is conducive to being live action, right? And there's very kind of big reasons for that, right? One, that a lot of comedy aspects in manga and anime are not really based on witty, literary based comedy. Like, it's not about like jokes. It's about visual gags, right? And these kind of really simplistic but effective visual cues, like Nami's dragon teeth when she gets mad at Luffy, or Luffy's kind of big white eyes when he's excited about something, or Sanji's crazy heart eyes when he's simping, or, you know, stuff like this, right? Chopper's insane kind of like over-the-top expressions when he's surprised by something, stuff like that. Those aren't really able to be done IRL, right, in live action. So a lot of the comedy of One Piece is probably going to have to change in order to fit a physical, like, live action medium, right? And I think that that's definitely going to be very hard to do, and it might actually kind of fuck up a lot of what makes One Piece very wonderful, right? So, I don't know. There's also other kind of generally just random things, like, are they going to allow Luffy and Nami to basically be walking around shirtless for seasons and seasons and seasons of the show? Is that like something that can really be done? We all know how Netflix kind of toned down the sexual aspects of certain characters, and I don't think that people generally care, but there's going to be enough noise on Twitter about it that it's going to be an issue for some people, and that's not necessarily a great thing. In fact, I would actually say it's a pretty bad thing. But I'm not saying that I personally care if they're going to change the outfits of the characters, but I do think that there's a certain distinct kind of vibe to each character and look to each character, and if you can't maintain that, it's kind of difficult to kind of associate with these characters. Like, I'm not saying that the Usopp long nose has to be a thing, right? They obviously have to not have that because that's ridiculous in live action. But there's a certain kind of vibe to Usopp and kind of this visual aesthetic that he has that has to be captured well, right? And same thing with Nami, and same thing with Luffy. And the most distinct aspect of Luffy is his straw hat and his red vest. And I don't know that he can kind of just walk around half naked all day in these kind of TV shows. I don't think it really ends up mattering too much for the male character, but once I get later into the series, I think post time skip, which they probably will never get to, so maybe this kind of situation with Nami's bikini top is maybe irrelevant, but I don't know, I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, are they going to be able to do that? Is that allowed? I mean, I don't really see the issue with it, but like, Western audiences are very finicky about weird stuff that really shouldn't matter. So I don't know. There's other things like Sanji. Are they gonna give him his weird ass twirly eyebrows? Is he gonna be able to smoke like constantly in the TV show? I think Taz Taylor, I think that's the actor's name, he actually does smoke in real life, and he has done a lot of show, like some acting where he does smoke, or at least I've seen pictures of him smoking when I was looking into these actors and characters, and I think it would work. but I don't know. I don't know what sort of restrictions there are on Netflix. Because I know that they have a specific kind of way in which they can decide what kind of content exists on there. So I don't know. I really don't do research on these sort of things. I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head, just kind of getting my ideas out there. Don't really kind of what's it called? Come at me with this like, oh, everything you're saying is wrong. It's like, yeah, I know. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about just getting my ideas out there, my thoughts, kind of out in the world, right? So, yeah. Zoro, how is he gonna do his three sword style? They can easily make a like mouth guard that has an external piece that looks like a sword handle, and then CGI the fuck out of the sword, right? They can easily do that, but it's gonna look wacky as fuck IRL if there's a dude with a sword in his mouth, right? Like, that's weird. It's not going to work. There's going to be a lot of weird problems. I saw a video by Tekking. He was talking about how they probably would just use one sword, maybe two swords every once in a while. But I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see how they would do it. I think that they really can't do three sword style because it's just like too insane, right? But if you have Zoro without three sword style, is he really even Zoro anymore? I don't know. Also, they're gonna give McKenryu. I can't remember the exact way his name is spelled, but are they gonna give him green hair? Are they gonna color his hair green? Is that gonna look wacky as fuck? I don't see. There's a lot of reasons why this would be kind of weird. Like, Sanji has yellow hair, right? But you can make that blonde and it won't look bad, right? And Nami's orange hair is just ginger, right? That's not a big deal. But green is a distinctly unnatural hair color, right? And it can easily look like very shitty Joker, Jared Leto Joker kind of vibes to it that could look horrible, right? So, I don't know. There's a lot of like just very minuscule and mostly unimportant like visual aspects to the characters that kind of would not work in real life that I think are distinctive to the character themselves, even if they are kind of irrelevant in a way. Like, fuck, does that make any sense? How can something be irrelevant and also distinct to a character? Okay, let me kind of figure that out. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's aspects of the characters that are distinctly specific to the characters that in most circumstances really wouldn't make too much of a difference, but when you're kind of adapting from a cartoon to real life, you kind of have to take into account how they're going to transfer, and most of these distinct but rather maybe not very important aspects will have to be toned down or lost. And at that point, I feel like it would just be kind of like better to not do it at all. Like, if you can't give Luffy his distinct shirtless red vest look, and you can't have Zoro with his pastel green hair, and you can't have Sanji's crazy heart eyes simping and his wacky ass eyebrows, and you can't have, you know, whatever other kind of specific traits like Usopp's nose. These characters really aren't the character that they're supposed to be. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I'm even making sense, but I think I'm getting bogged down in the little tiny details that majorly, or like in terms of like who the characters are, don't matter, but in terms of how you look at the character might matter. So I don't know. In terms of like the story, I've heard that it's supposed to be all of East Blue, which is actually pretty good. And I also heard that it's only supposed to be 10 chapters long or 10 episodes long. If they make each episode 45 minutes to 50 minutes, that would work pretty well. Let's see. What are all the arcs in East Blue? There's Romance Dawn, the military base, Stirp Village, Baratier, and then Arlong Park. It's just 5, right? I think. There might be 1 or 2 other ones there. I can't remember exactly, but that kind of works. Romance Dawn and the military base would be like the first episode, and then Syrup Village would be an episode and a half, maybe. Baratier would be an episode and a half as well, so that would be 4 episodes so far, and then Arlong Park is the rest. That could work. I don't know. You would probably want to have like, let's see, 3 episodes for Arlong Park, 2 episodes for Baratier, and then 5 episodes for everything else. That probably works pretty well. I don't exactly know how that would work, how like you would have to change the pacing of the story in order to fit things, and how much world building you want to include, right? Because world building in TV shows literally just has to be people talking, right? So how are you going to do that? Are you going to just have the characters chilling on a boat and just talking about where they're going? A lot of times that works in manga, but does that work in television? I don't know. Like, I think this is going to be a difficult situation and kind of a difficult way to adapt this. There's also kind of big casting kind of situations, like who's going to be Shanks? That has to be an important character. Are they going to have young Luffy? Are they going to have like a one-off Goldie Roger character as well? They're going to cast them, or are they just going to skip that kind of situation entirely? Mihawk, who's going to be Mihawk? That's kind of interesting. And how can you, can you guarantee that there's going to be season 2 where Mihawk might become relevant again? And are you going to have to recast him later on? Like, there's a lot of interesting kind of like scenarios that kind of occur here that I think are maybe too far away to matter, but that are still interesting to think about. And I don't know. Overall, I'm kind of like interested in the live action. I think the announcement they did with Iñaki Godoy and all of the characters, or all of the actors saying their name and what they're going to be playing was kind of interesting. I liked Emily's Rudd part the most because I think she was really kind of like passionate about it in a very kind of like maybe humble way. I don't know. I thought it was good, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, if it sucks, it sucks. I don't really mind too much if it does suck, but I think it'd be interesting, and if it works even half as well as the actual manga, it might not be horrible. It might be fun, right? So I don't know. At the very least, it's gonna get people that might not have been interested in One Piece before interested in the source material. And that's always a good thing. I really can't say that that's bad. Honestly, I'm just kind of worried that the fan base is gonna like just go insane over how bad the animation or the adaptation is, even if it's like passingly good, because you know fan bases do that, and manga and anime fan bases specifically are way more like wacky and passionate and kind of like insane about stuff than most other fandoms. And I'm kind of worried. I don't know, but I think that it's an interesting concept and an interesting kind of idea. It might be too much. Like, it's kind of tough. Like, it's kind of insane to try to adapt One Piece into a TV show, right? Like a live action TV show. But it could work. And it doesn't have to be great. It just has to be like passingly good, like vaguely enjoyable, and that would still be pretty good. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I think the actors are pretty excited about it as well, and I think they all pretty much fit the part. Like, they all look pretty good. The only ones that I was kind of confused on was Taz Taylor. He's supposed to be Sanji, but I don't know. He had like short crop greenish like white hair, and he basically, I just thought he was gonna be Zoro just because he kind of looked like Zoro just off the bat. But I mean, they're kind of vaguely following this idea, this kind of like nationality list that Oda had, where like Usopp was from Africa, like some like African descent. Luffy was Brazilian specifically, but I mean, they cast a Mexican actor, so they're still kind of in the same vein, even if they're not like exactly the same. The point is that they're kind of like American, right? Like Latin American in some way, which is pretty good, right? I think that's pretty interesting. Latinos are very kind of diverse, so it kind of works. I think it fits. And Sanji and Nami are supposed to be very European. I think Nami is supposed to be Swedish, and Sanji is French. In this case, it's an American woman and a British guy playing the characters, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're European looking, so it's fine. And Zoro is supposed to be Japanese, full-heartedly. So I think it works well. I think the casting hits on the general kind of what's it called, ethnic situations that Oda set up, and I think that the actors look the part. I've seen a lot of people kind of make their own edits of the characters, or like the actors in the characters' kind of get-ups, and they look great. I think it looks really nice. So I'm pretty excited about the series, and I'm pretty happy to see this going forward. I can't wait for a trailer. I think that once we get a trailer, we'll get to see what's going on. And I don't know. I think it was time to have more pirates, more pirate stuff in live action, right? I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean is basically the only pirate IP that I can think of that is even mildly successful. And Pirates of the Caribbean is actually something I really, really love. So I think it's fun and interesting to see kind of other pirate adventure TV shows and movies going to come out. So I'm very excited about this show. And yeah, that's all I have to say. It was basically more of a One Piece ramble than it really was a kind of discussion or anything like that. But hopefully you guys were interested, and if you were, and if you have your own thoughts, please share them with me down below. Let me know what you guys thought. I'm pretty happy and excited about this, so let me know if you guys are too. And yeah, thank you guys very much. See you guys later.